Dear oh dear, he's done it, hasn't he? The moment we've all been waiting for. An answer to the question that we've been asking for 5 years. What about the 50-minute ISS Tour, Flat Earthers? What do you have to say about that? Well, Leo has finally given us an answer. Sort of. I guess. We'll see. First, a little background. In 2016, this video was uploaded to YouTube with the annoyingly grammatically incorrect title of One of the Most Detailed ISS Tour, singular. The video is 50 minutes and 31 seconds long and features astronaut and USMC veteran Steve Swanson giving a full tour of the station during his time on Expeditions 39 and 40, meaning the video was actually filmed sometime in 2014. The video is noteworthy because it features extremely extended footage of an astronaut floating in microgravity from multiple angles, moving his body in multiple axes of movement, and passing through multiple modules, all without cuts in the video. Not completely without cuts, mind you. There are in fact 3 edits within the video, and they're not in any way hidden. That being said, the longest uncut segment of video is 27 minutes and 4 seconds long. The video serves as a solid basis for evidence that ISS footage is not faked using any combination of wires or harnesses, as throughout the video are data points that are not possible with these systems. So, with all of that being said, what does Leo have to say about it? Bear in mind that Leo's debunk of this nearly hour-long video is itself 8.5 minutes long. Just enough time to get to orbit. Let's have a listen, shall we? Bear with me.
So I was challenged to debunk the undebunkable 50-minute ISS tour. Is it undebunkable? Nah, of course it isn't. It's just the usual tosh.
Of course it is, Leo. Here we go.
Bear with me. Now, first of all, this undebunkable 50-minute tour was cited as having no cuts whatsoever originally.
By who? Leo won't ever say, I'm sure, because nobody with half a brain in their head ever said this video has 0 cuts.
But when you look at it, it's got several obvious cuts, at the very least. The first one at about the 28-minute mark, which I'm going to highlight here.
Wow, Leo really did half-ass this. Either that or he didn't actually watch it and is taking notes from somebody else, because the first cut is actually at the 1 minute 6 second mark, and it's an extremely obvious one. Observe. So, as usual, Leo is wrong right off the bat.
Matey boy can see they're not ready for the next bit of stage work.
Alright.
And we're going to have a cut.
Leo just making shit up here. Not ready for what stage work, Leo? What does that even mean? Why wouldn't it all be set up in advance? Do you even blocking, bro?
Now I'm going to fast forward to the second cut, which shouldn't have been there, based on what I was originally told by a group of fantasists.
A group of fantasists who shall remain nameless for some mysterious reason.
Now the second cut that shouldn't have been there is about the 42-minute 22-second mark, as we're about to see here.
Right there.
And get ready,
Try to get there.
cut.
This will get part of it.
So there's 2 blatant obvious cuts there, okay, in the footage that shouldn't have been there based on what I was originally told.
Well, guess what, Leo? I don't care. There's cuts in the video. Okie dokie. So what? What's your point? What does this prove?
And the reason for that is this isn't live footage, okay? Of course it's not live footage because it's cited as the best evidence out there. Flawless. So they wouldn't cite live footage where they'd put themselves at the risk of people like myself highlighting the bullshit.
Wait, so because it has cuts in it, that's the reason it's not live? Nah, bro, it's not live because it's a video uploaded in 2016 and recorded in 2014, and thus can't actually be live. However, here's the thing, Leo. If the footage had been uploaded as just one of the uncut segments, being either 27 or 14 minutes long respectively, what then? Does it pass your qualification of what you think live footage is?
In the live footage, they allow themselves excuses. But because this isn't live, because this has got cuts to highlight that, and of course you wouldn't cite your best footage out there as evidence for the space industry being live. You'd have it done properly, as they've done. Remember, this is cited as flawless, and undebunkable. It's got 2 cuts that shouldn't have been there, and we're about to destroy this silly charade.
Drink. Anyway, we're 2 minutes in, and he thinks he already has the upper hand because camera cuts. But again, they don't prove anything, especially because of the distance covered and movements made throughout the 27-minute long uncut segment. He's still yet to deal with any of that.
Right, now watch the astronaut's right hand here as he transitions from one section of the ISS to another. But as he's doing so, the special effects department didn't quite get things right. And again, giving the game away, and very telling that it's at a transitional point from one section to another where this flawless footage comes unstuck. Like I say, watch the astronaut's right hand. His fingers actually go through solid metal. It's on loop. We'll zoom it in and slow it down in a minute. Look, his fingers go through solid metal.
Are you serious, Leo? He's gripping the lip of the ring with some fingers on one side and some on the other, and you think this is a visual effects error? What would even be the point of using CGI on his hands or the ring? Or is it a green screen? Or could you even decide if asked? It's all just in the umbrella of special effects to you. You know the term movie magic is meant to be hyperbolic, don't you? Anyway, what else you got?
So we've already destroyed this silly charade. And do you know what? I haven't even seen all the footage. I've only seen 15 minutes of it, and I've already destroyed it.
That's your standard for destroying it, Leo? Wow. Imagine that holding up in court. It's CGI, Your Honor, I swear!
But let's zoom in and slow this tosh down. And then when we zoom in and slow this silliness down, we can see this meltdown in all its glory. It's on loop. Our friend here, who's supposed to be part of something that's undebunkable, has just made a mockery of all his friends that cited this tosh as proof that demonstrable reality was wrong.
Guys, I have a theory. Hear me out here. Leo just has bad internet. It's a little slow, so it never shows him video quality above 480p, because that's what it sets it to at default. Because the thing is, I downloaded the 1080p version of the video, and mine's a little more clear. This is literally just a compression artifact, probably caused by him watching a lossy version that he downloaded himself. Actually, we can take this a step further, because I've just noticed something while editing. Take a look at Leo's screen here. See those orange shapes on the right-hand side? Those are indicators that he's using X Recorder, an app for screen recording on a cell phone, which I also use sometimes. But notice how there's 2 orange circles? That's because we're watching a recording of a download. No wonder Leo's copy looks like shit.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is?
Incredibly, he's either incredibly talented and has the ability to put his fingers through solid metal, or we've had a bit of a special effects meltdown here, exposing this silly charade. Now, even the fantasists themselves admit this sci-fi production wasn't filmed live, like our mate here. No, it wasn't recorded live. Sure.
Leo, what the fuck does recorded live mean? What are you talking about? Are you saying it was not broadcast live at the time it was filmed? Can you figure out some, really basic filming terminology, please?
But that really doesn't answer why it matters, unless you think it's useful to you somehow. Hint, it's not. Laugh out loud. Well, I hate to break it to you, me old mate. It's very relevant, as we're about to see. But first we need to entertain someone who's going to highlight the mainstream excuse for what we've seen. But because of the original claims regarding the footage that it's flawless, it's not live, it kind of destroys the excuses before they've even popped and reared their ugly head.
Boy, Leo's really good at wasting time here. That's like a full minute where he hasn't actually said anything at all.
Next, we have some more videos from Level Earth Observer, which he claims shows proof of CGI. Now, the first is an astronaut putting a microphone up to Chris Hadfield's guitar and the microphone disappearing.
So is our mate here just lost the plot and decided to stick the microphone inside Chris Hadfield's skull? Or is there a bit of a special effects meltdown going on here?
And then a different clip where an astronaut reaches out for a microphone cable and the cable appears to travel through his hand.
Bob's hand at points goes straight through that cable. Again, highlighting special effects problems, namely green screens and augmented reality, which these people interact with as well. And as a result, you get things like this, people's hands passing seemingly through cables.
Now, both of these can be attributed also to heavy compression from the live stream causing artifacts. By the very nature of reducing file size, information has to be discarded, and both of these examples are clearly very low resolution footage.
Wow, Leo, thank you for that very succinct and informative explanation of exactly what's happening here, and self-owning yourself so beautifully in your own video. Now let's hear how it's all tosh.
Thank you for that, Dave. And you're right, they are low resolution footage, and that does sort of give you a bit of a leeway, an excuse to defend absurdities. The problem is, with the footage I've highlighted today, which was cited as the cream of the crop, the best of the best, flawless, and of course not live, which means there wasn't any need for compression of the data. They didn't need to do that because it wasn't live. And remember, this was the cream of the crop, the best of the best.
Leo, you lowered the resolution. You compressed the data. Look right here at my copy versus yours. You are clearly bullshitting, dude.
Now that didn't exactly go too well, did it, for Simon Dan and all the fantasists? Bless them. But lads, you're standing by things that are scientifically impossible and citing sci-fi movies as proof that demonstrable reality is wrong. Please, find yourself a quiet space and have a word with yourselves, please.
IMAX levels of projection going on here.
So the undebunkable ISS 50-minute tour got turned over by the fingers of truth, and we had a little bit of help from Dave McKeegan. Nice one, Dave. How do they do this silly charade that fools naive individuals? Well, it's a blend of augmented reality, real-world physical props, special effects, green screens, harnesses, and very clever, cunning camera angles, and of course, very clever cuts, okay?
Leo, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. When asked how it's done, you can't just say, it's a mishmash of all these different elements and I can't explain a single one of them. Note that you had special effects on your list, which is a term that encompasses all of the other methods you listed. They're all special effects. You don't know what you're talking about. There is so much footage here of spinning and twisting and floating that you cannot explain, and in an attempt to do so, you've said, it's a whole bunch of parlor tricks, I guess.
That's how it's done. And of course, I find it extremely telling that a junction between two sections, we have a special effects meltdown exposing the silly charade. A lot of the stuff you see where they go through from one section to another, which is cited as being impossible on a harness, there actually is no roof there. It's like a prop stage corridor with the harnesses, and the actual roof which you see in a lot of cases isn't actually there. It's either augmented reality or special effects to fool you.
There we go, finally, something of substance, sort of. So the claim is that one of the four walls is added in post-production, and Swanson's fingers going through one part is the glitch, but just after glancing through it again, where was the invisible fourth wall here, Leo? How about here? How about here? How about here? I'll wait. So, as usual, Leo has proven nothing, shit all over the floor, and denied that basic elements of technology are real and exist. I guess that's one for the Leo jar, which grows fuller every day. If you enjoy this content, consider hitting the subscribe button. If you really enjoy this content, consider donating on Patreon, becoming a member, buying some of my books on Amazon, or buying some of my merch. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you over the curve, Space Cowboys.